there, and the more no's you see, that just gets you closer to your yeses.
Make peace with money. That's a big make peace with money.
It's a permaculture professionals business development program.
And it's 5 days free content for what I did learn, what changed my professional life.
Hello, and welcome to the Permaculture Designer podcast. Today we have a roundtable on entrepreneurship and permaculture. Today we have Jason Thomas with us. Welcome, Jason.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And we also have Jose. Jose, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me too.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce Jose first? I think it'll help me get grounded in here.
Yeah. Jose, do you want to introduce yourself here, please, first?
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Jose Ansoleaga. I'm living in Mallorca, Europe. I'm living permaculture life in off-grid homesteading in a very dry place, in the driest place of the island. So I develop a business around landscaping, permaculture landscaping in drylands. And I found that food foresting was agroforestry, regenerative agroforestry was the one that really helped me to start regenerating landscape around. So I create this food forest company. It's been already 6 years. We are pumping new ways of building sustainable spaces for families and communities. Last 3 years, I've been developing also educational platform for people that want also to start this entrepreneurial journey in permaculture landscaping. I'm hoping to have an amazing 2024.
Great stuff. Jason, do you want to introduce yourself here, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Well, my name is Jason Thomas. I have this podcast called Regeneration Nation Costa Rica. I interview project leaders around the country, regenerative leaders. I have like anything from communities, permaculture farms, and other socially regenerative projects. And yeah, we just talk about many different aspects of making really your regenerative dreams your livelihood, your like what you do with your life. And so I've been inspiring people through that. And I do business consultation for entrepreneurs that want to establish a business with their regenerative goals. And we've got some eco village tours coming up in just 5 days. I'm going to be hitting the road with 20 people to visit 14 different eco village intentional community projects around Costa Rica. So that is a big part of what I'm focused on these days. Is getting ready for those trips. Putting together a regenerative festival called Bliss Burn in Costa Rica for March. And I'm working with the Permaculture Institute of North America's Mighty Network Group, PCX, to bring more permaculturists to this really awesome permaculture all the time social media site that is fostering great conversations and people connecting with each other. And we'll be soon hosting courses there, like a business development course for permaculture professionals. So in a nutshell, I've got a lot going on. That's what I've been focusing on lately.
Yeah, that's great stuff. So for me, I'm Cormac Harkin. I don't already introduce myself. By permaculture. So we basically have a course coming out. Just chatting with you guys before. You have courses coming out, so we're all releasing courses in February. That was quite amusing there, and it's good timing as well. So for me, I'm not. It's good that you two are the entrepreneurial experts. I'm merely in a learning position. So this is what the podcast for me was about, to try and pick the brains of other permaculturists and try and learn myself. So thanks to Toby for joining us today. Jose, do you want to just tell us a bit about your entrepreneurial journey and how all that started?
Well, it started by needing money for myself and my family. And from there on, I started to make my way out and proposing my services out there. It was not easy. Firstly, because I didn't know how. Secondly, because I was afraid of refusal and rejection. Um, so those two elements were big problem for the first 2-3 years. Then I started to work for only myself. I didn't know how to start in a proper way with people, and I was a solopreneur. And I think a solopreneur in permaculture is very weak and not very efficient. So then the third pillar was how to start working with people, how to attract the team that was professional enough to do the jobs and the projects in the right way. And after that, I discovered that I was having a problem with how to manage money and how to, more than manage, how to propose high ticket projects for those people that I wanted to work with. I had to pay it, and all the prices were super high. I wasn't used to manage all those numbers, and unless even to propose with those numbers to the client. So then, a few years after, I a few years of mentorship with people that already know how to do this job, how to propose, how to follow up, make follow-ups, how to cold calling, how to market, how to prepare team, how to manage remote teams. So two very very hard 2 years of training and essay error of evolving makes now that I can move 5 to 7 projects per year, big projects, high ticket projects with a huge amount of professionals, and super happy. Yeah, we still are pushing our way of doing things. It's not easy to move high ticket for forest projects wherever you are. And then maintenance for 3 years, so you have to maintain a living macro system that is attacked by desertification and has problems with evapotranspiration, and we have lack of water. Half of the island is with problems with water, so we implement rainwater harvesting and greywater systems. So yeah, we have fun, and we are happy. We are moving forward, and finally, after 7-9 years, nearly 9 years of putting that idea into my mind, we are starting to be at ease.
So a good lesson at 79 years. Well, that's good at setting people's expectations. It takes a while.
Yeah, takes time. Endurance and straightforward. Yeah, yeah, takes time. That formula that you can build up a business in 2 years, I didn't do it. I don't know how to do that.
And Jason, do you want to give us an idea of your entrepreneurial background as well? I know you touched on it a wee bit.
Sure. Well, I guess I started as an entrepreneur, gosh, when I left college, when I was like 19. Well, I did a year in college and then I hit the road and I went out to California, and I ended up, my car broke down and I was on the street for 3 months, well, 2 months, and just living and talking to a lot of homeless people, and like really getting a new download as to how the world was. This was pre, really internet access. This was like 96 or something. Anyhow, I came back from that trip and went to college, and all I could see were signs around saying Coca-Cola and credit cards, like, come pay us money, we'll learn, teach you how to work for somebody else, be in debt, and consume things. And that's really all I got out of that next semester of college. And so I left and I moved back to Detroit, and I got a job selling like kids' books and cookbooks and calculators and stuff, just in town, like business to business, hitting people up on the street. And I just learned, and like part of this warehouse that sent us out on these missions, we'd have these morning meetings to get us all jazzed up to go out there and get rejected. And they talked about this thing called the law of averages, and how, like, if you go out there, nobody goes out there all day and asks a bunch of people, would you like this? And comes back with nobody saying yes. You always will find people to say yes. And so it's a law of averages. And there's just an average of people today, some number that are going to say yes and some that are going to say no. And you just go out there, and the more no's you see, that just gets you closer to your yeses. And so, like, just this got programmed into me as a young man. And I did it. I went out there having fun, being like, I'm just going to go see how many people I can get a no from. And at the end of the day, I got some cash in my pocket. And that was an enlightening experience. And after that, I worked at some music stores on a commission basis. But then after Guitar Center told me I needed to cut off my ponytail to not get demoted back to salesperson after I got promoted to manager, it's just like, man, forget corporate America. I'm really done with it. And so at that point, I started tying balloon animals and at restaurants and parties. I was like 21, and I was running sound at a blues club and doing other different odd things. And then I hit the road. I lived 6 years on the road. I tied balloon animals for tips. We did volunteer work different places, learned how to do a lot of stuff. And then when I moved to Minnesota, I started also practicing Thai massage as my other, like, so I always had like two things, Thai massage and balloon art, and that was my jam for some years until I moved out to Costa Rica, and I was on the open this permaculture education center and just went for it. I was like, oh, I visited dozens of communities and permaculture farms in my as a volunteer. Of course I'm ready to own my own place and host people and be responsible for all of them. Sure, of course. Let's just do it without planning. And so we went for it, and we had some good times and we had some hard times. And then part of what's informed the work I do today is that my ex-wife pulled out the permaculture design methods and the principles, and we looked at every aspect of our home life and how we are hosting people and not charging them and directing them or not, and having people wanting to be community members and not having any documentation to like show them what our starting point is for the conversation. And we just really gave ourselves a hard look using permaculture, and we totally did a design to our business landscape and our lifestyle landscape. And that was something that really stuck with me over the years, how awesome it would be if more places did that. um, because I've been here for 14 years now, and I've seen a lot of these land projects like fizzle out and go home, or fizzle out and stick around, but they're just still struggling after all this time, because they never really do the design and get deep into breaking it down in a holistic way and being honest where your ideals aren't really working out. So that's what I do now with people. I help them design their businesses using the permaculture design method. I've worked with some permaculture graduates that want to become professionals, and that's inspired me to do a group program, which I'll be launching. Well, it's launched. The early bird closes on the 9th, but we'll be end of February on the 24th. We're going to start that. And so now I've had my torch lit by a lot of coaches, a lot of online courses, a lot of hard knocks. And now being able to light other people's torches and help them see beyond their taboos against business and the things that are holding them back from not embracing those learning curves that they never end, but like deciding to be an entrepreneur, deciding to be a business person, it comes with a commitment to shifting our perception from, what a lot of grassroots people just don't want to bother with all that stuff. And it comes a time where you decide, like, I want people to come to my events. I'm sick of doing stuff and having it not work. Like, I want to teach, and I can't teach what I can't sell because everyone's got free information. I need to present it in a way that really speaks to them. And so even if you're giving stuff for free, you got to sell it. And so that's what I work with people on right now is just thinking about what they have to offer from the other person's point of view, from their customers or clients. Like, what's their experience interacting with your brand, with your products, with your services, and like um, that requires research, requires talking to them. For me, the permaculture framework is perfect for doing a full assessment and analyzing and doing research and looking at it all contextual in the context of everything and then designing it intelligently to execute it. And you talk, Jose, about the 2 year plan, brother. Like that's culture for. It's for fast tracking, bending time, and doing a holistic design so that you know what step goes in front of the other and how to lay things out in reference to each other so that every element stacks many functions or supports many functions and systems. And so, yeah, that's where a lifetime of being an entrepreneur has brought me to this point.
Yeah, my experience was more of a entrepreneur. I always wanted to be my own boss, but took years to get around to it. I used to buy pallets of electronic goods and repair them and then sell them on. Uh, I've done a few daft things as well. It never worked out, but now I've been buying at least I've been at this 2 years. I'm still going at it. Still finding there. A connection both of you had from your podcasts. Jason, you mentioned like you took courses like or you looked at marketing techniques from Dean Graziosi and what do they call it, our guy Grant Cardone. And then Jose, you mentioned as well about paying for to be in the right rooms and doing the right courses as well. For someone starting out, getting into permaculture, once they sort of go down that entrepreneurial path, would you have any specific recommendations to what they do or what not to do when it comes to learning that outside marketing techniques and applying it to your permaculture business?
Yeah, I think I had too much fear of going out. I was into my I don't know enough, so I cannot do a professional service out there. So getting lay back in time, like postponing the moment, facing your fears of being outside, pose, knock doors, cold calling. So all the big no-nos that a normal person has as a salesman, because we don't know how to sell. And finally, when you understand that better to learn how to sell before you do whatever you do in permaculture, whatever you start to study. So better to know how to sell and start selling your dream already. I want to wasify the certified land. Okay, that's a dream. You don't need, in reality, if that is your dream, you don't need to know every specific part of dry land and harvesting, water harvesting, and soil restoration. You don't need to be an expert on every sector. It will take you 7 years maybe to do that. And meanwhile, 7 years pass, you are not earning money. And what are you putting your time to earn that money? So instead of that, if I was again 25 years old, I will start by knowing how to sell, why it is important to learn how to sell. That's part of your mission and vision. Once you know how to sell, you know how to go outside, you know what to expect, you know how to follow up, you know how to propose your projects and your vision and your objectives as an entrepreneur. And then when you have a concrete project, or you have one, you specify, okay, I want to be an expert on food forest, then attract those professionals that already are doing those jobs. You are the bridge between the client and the professionals. You are the owner of that brand or that enterprise. And then if you really feel like you want to learn from scratch about soil or about rainwater harvesting or about food foresting or agroforestry, you become not only the boss of the enterprise and the salesman and the owner of or one part of the owners, but also you can attract those experts that you want to learn from into your business, pay them well, and everybody's happy. So I will suggest uh, realize that you are, if you are already wanting to know more, and the next workshop that will make me really, really wise, and then I could go out and become a professional. Better than that, I will tell you, face your fears, be conscious that you are hiding. My mentor, the first thing that he told me, stop hiding. First thing, direct to your face. I paid him 2,000, and the first meeting was, you are hiding. Realize that you are hiding. It's a normal thing, but realize, when you realize, you can be, you will be able to decide if you still hide, which is completely legal. You can continue hiding on learning and continue learning, and be there for 20 years, more years learning, just learning. Or you stop hiding, you face your fears, rejection, all those fears that we all have, learning new skills, how to sell your vision, how to speak to people, how to communicate, how to use your telephone, how to follow up, the importance of follow up, the importance of the quality of how you present your services. And then, just go in the road, knock doors, call telephones, speak with other landscape entrepreneurs and businessmen, offer your help, offer your doubts, and find new mentors. And then the fears, every day, those fears become open windows. Like, it's crazy and amazing how big we think a problem is, and when you face it, how it evaporates and become a light and a new way of air and information. So yeah, one part of my PermaPro workshop is helping those youngsters to start facing salesman or entrepreneur careers in permaculture landscaping. And because before or after, they will face those phases. So better at the beginning, the difficult part better at the beginning, and then you can start helping people, really helping people.
Good advice. Jason?
Wow, Jose, that was great advice. That was solid. Nice.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, yeah. That is, it's just, yeah, so on point. I think for me, in like how to navigate these conventional mentors that are out there and bridge the concepts into whatever culture that you're marketing to, essentially. Um, Man, it can be tough. Like I definitely caught
Yeah.
myself. I wanted to learn from the best. I wanted to learn from the people that are wealthy and making massive impact in this world. Like these folks, these new rich people that are have these mega like marketing businesses like Russell Brunson and these Dean Graciosi and a lot of these guys, man, they are throwing down millions upon millions of dollars to like rescue children and a lot of other really gorgeous work in the world. And I'm just like, man, like, all right, I'm gonna see what they do, right? And it's true. A lot of people of my culture, like, they don't want to sit through hours and hours listening to these guys talk. And when you use their methods, you really, it's like, using chat gpt to create content or something, you really have to police how it comes out, because if you're modeling from something that's designed to communicate in one way and you're speaking to a culture that might be triggered by that, for instance, then you've got to like really be like, all right, how do I do a sales page that doesn't look like a traditional sales page so much that it does follow the psyche of human consciousness when it goes through such information, but it doesn't have the like big numbers all over the place and the kind of things that influence other people's decisions other than maybe our customers. So that's a journey, developing your brand. And what I really work with people on is researching other people that you admire. Who are other permaculturists that you admire, that you like the way their vibe is, you like, or whatever your field of doing business is like. Find the ones you're like, man, they really give a good presentation. I'm gonna model from that. I'm gonna think about what's different about what they do and what I do, and consider similar color schemes or similar just space on the web page between things, or and that's one way to kind of, Russell Brunson is genius. Like with the ClickFunnels world, they produce high quality uh, advice for how to sell stuff, how to get people to know that you exist and be motivated like crazy to support you, right? They're great at it. And I do recommend their education. Um, However, then there's people like Jose and I who've already watched all that stuff, and we get it, and we understand your customer too, and getting help, getting somebody, whether it's one of us or somebody else that's a consultant of some sort or a business developer of some sort that can help you, that's already bridging that, right? That was my commitment when I decided to turn my balloon art business into a booking agency. It was because I needed to learn how to do business in this age, and balloon art was easy to sell, and I was really good at it. And it was easy for me to confidently be one of the best paid balloon artists in the city and learn how to talk to clients and stuff. It was just an easy in. And so, but I knew I was stacking functions. This isn't my passion. This isn't what I want to do with my life. But I'm going to take this guy's advice and start bridging it into the permaculture concept of grassroots motivation. And I have pages and pages and documents on bridging modern day business practices with permaculture principles and ideology and so forth. And I've got several partially written books that we're going to put together to share this with people so that this information can help bridge people so they can watch this other conventional wisdom and not be blindsided by it, but learn how to interpret it um, within their sense of integrity and so forth. So it's a dance, but there's definitely a bridge to be built there.
Any ideas how to build that bridge? I think we've chatted about this before. How do you encourage people to actually, that these marketing techniques are more of a, you're putting your service in front of people instead of trying to sell them something that's not a decent product, or you're not providing value?
Well, see, that's kind of an interesting thing because there's pockets of people like even where I live in Costa Rica that are like, yeah, I've heard them down talk a friend for charging too much for their service or something, as if they're like some billionaire propaganda, profiteering, you know, mega pollutant that's putting all that money to bad use. Like, we got to trust ourselves. We gotta believe in each other and believe that we all, anyone in our culture who's doing permaculture, who's doing land projects, who's doing whatever to make a more ecologically and socially beneficial planet and humanity, we just gotta like trust that they got the ethics thing dialed in. That's where innocent until proven guilty comes in useful, because if we take time really seeing, judging our peers or people who are trying to do these things and ourselves, when we have an integral product and we know it's got integrity and we know it's beneficial and we know we're not sleazy or low quality, that we just say yes to promoting it, to supporting it, to buying it, to giving them a high five, no matter how much they can charge for the thing. Because like, there's nobody in our field that's charging such absurd rates that they're not fair. That ideology of distrust to capitalism and making money in the business world, that taboo that's set in, that's like got a lot of people running away from as they build their projects rather than running to. I think those are the taboos we need to identify and shed, and just really be like, no, like, we're not doing low quality nothing. We're not doing lack of integrity anything. We're making sure we have enough money to like do the next thing for everybody, for the world, for our children's children, and like really, I don't know. So for me, that's one thing that I work with entrepreneurs. Like, you talk about mindset, you can't teach what you can't sell, right? And it's like you have to. I love how you said like, selling has to be part of executing your mission. You can't execute your mission if you're not
Now,
willing to just go for it.
even if you observe the kids, or just infant people, the kids, if you have kids around, when they want something, they really push the agenda, and even till the moment your elbow is nearly cracking. So they know how to reach the point with moral and ethics, basic, like I need this, and I need to you to understand that I need this. When you see kids, you understand how life is, and marketing and sales is just continuing with that process of I want you to know what I need, and if you want what I need, we can collaborate, we can go together, and also I think we we have the tendency to criticize the people, the things that people over us are doing. You will never see people that are doing better than you criticizing you. So that's when I realized that that was an automatization of silence for me, because I'm have the tendency of criticizing and thinking, well, having some jealousy and some, so those feelings I know that I have them. But once I understand that the people that are doing better than you will never think badly about you and will never criticize what are you doing or your prices, because they are already doing their dream. They're dreaming together with a higher standards. So you will only receive uh, money criticizes, or these people is doing this because they are whatever. These thoughts only come from people that are in their way up, and they feel you that you are upper over them. That's a lack of mentality, because they think they cannot up. When I understood and when I analyze myself, when I feel jealousy, the jealousy is a feeling that you have that is protecting you from deeper feelings that you don't put light on. And when you analyze jealousy, is that you think you cannot allow yourself to go or have the others thing that they have. So in that gap of I cannot have that, in that lack belief, the fastest and the easy way to protect you from having that feeling is to put jealousy and to criticize. So you make peace in your mind when you criticize, like, that's a bad thing, so I'm in peace. And then the resentment and the jealousy is free to range wherever they go. And when I realize that, I automatically self-calibrate every time I feel, because even in these days, I sometimes I surprise myself, like, oh, fuck, you're having jealousy, pure jealousy for this thing, and automatically I go there, boom, 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 okay, I understand. This is my feeling. This is how it goes, and then this is not my culture. I don't want to put seeds on this veggie garden. I don't want to see the jealousy. My culture is not like this. I want to just raise and put a focus on excellence and hard work. And if you have jealousy, have the telephone, call him, and tell him that you need to help him, and you feel like collaborating with this person. That's the jealousy. Real jealousy is that you don't allow yourself to connect with this person and tell him that you will love to do what he's doing, and you don't know how to do it. That's the message, the pure message of jealousy for me.
Wow, how insightful. Jose, that's great. I love it. Yeah, the
Thank you,
people
man.
that are doing now well will you'll never find them criticizing people not doing as well as them. Like you'll see people that are not doing well criticizing people who are further along. That's so insightful. And and that all came, Cormac, from your question about how do we build those bridges, right? The bridges are conceptual on one side. They're just we create them by our taboos and by our judgments, and so it operate in their decision making patterns. I don't want that information because I saw Walmart misuse it at some point. Like what?
Mm.
This comes in there, and with that release of judgment, watch the material and just smile at all the hype and take notes and apply what works for you without worrying about how much you're rejecting the things that doesn't apply to you. And I think that's another way to really build a bridge personally for anyone who wants to do that investigation and take those courses uh, with feeling like they're doing something good. Because again, like when I was developing my entertainment booking agency, I just knew it was like I was in school. I was just learning how to do business, and like what I was doing wasn't evil. And so that felt good. And so I'm going to just do it and learn how to do this business thing, learn how to create automation systems and make it easy to send people contracts and invoices and follow up emails and just make that easy, automated, done, like, and pro and adding quality to the experience of the people that want to give me their money. They want to give
Yeah.
me their money. They just want a quality experience when they do it.
Yeah, we all like excellence when it happens to us. Like, you realize somebody has put a lot of energy and care in something. You realize, and you really deeply receive it. So why don't we just put it onto permaculture realm and give that quality and that care, and then ask for paper money, paper energy, which is money, paper energy for that. It's make peace with money. That's a big theme. Make peace with money. And money, yeah, money. We could make another podcast just on money.
Yeah. Let's take it on the list. All right. Uh, well, that's great. And I like that segue to sort of, so learn sales and don't be afraid. Uh, learn to like money. And what was the other thing was, uh,
Let go of your taboos.
yeah.
Just say it's okay. Yeah, just say it's okay for all kinds of people to do all kinds of business, and
Mm.
none of it is inherently worth rejecting. If there's a particular business doing a particular thing that's particularly not holistic, integral, then yeah, like then don't give them your money. But it's funny how much the same people that go on judging and judging and judging actually have a whole pocket full of people that they're giving money to regularly that they don't believe that. And it's easier to scrutinize somebody else's decision or lack of doing it all than be more mindful of our own purchase decisions.
Then study yourself when you criticize and you judge. Just automatization. Why you judge? What is there that is for you? Why do you put so much energy? It's
Mm.
amazing. Check and investigate. Follow the money. Follow. I would say follow your judge. Follow your judgment. Really put insight into that. You will find a treasure. You will find amazing shadows that are keeping you from floating and flying. At least that was my experience for the last lifetime.
So I was taking this mini course with Joe Vitale on clearing limiting belief systems or beliefs, and one of the exercises he taught was I remember it basically when you if you're working with yourself or someone else and there's an identified strong belief that's like bothering someone. I believe this and it's a problem kind of thing. Like when you identify that, you ask, is that true?
Mhm.
Okay, it's true. How do you know that it's true? Is that true? And going down, how do you know that that's true? And dissecting some layers, going a little deeper as to what is the thought pattern that's actually, if it's an objective statement that could possibly be not true by someone else's perspective. Because there's few absolute truths that are less arguable. So just like getting them to find to the point where it's like, okay, maybe that root of my belief maybe, okay, maybe it's not entirely true. And then the final question is, what would you prefer to be true? And to, really get to that point where it's like, okay, maybe I kind of, maybe that's objective. Maybe that's, my version of that. And then what would you prefer? Like, how could you create a story that makes you feel good? Like, is there room for that? Like, actually, that was hard and that was not what I expected, and that's not how I would do it. And it's true that the world doesn't suck, and I could see it as being actually even possibly beneficial. The
Mm.
problems and the solution, right? Or the problem is the solution. Find that. But that's the process that he walked us through. Is like, um, is that true? How do you know it's true? Is that true? There's another step in there, but essentially, what would you prefer to be true? So, dissecting those limiting belief systems is superpower, freedom, identifying them.
So we have limited release, learn how to sell, and then you two guys have courses as well. They help with that. Jose, you want to just tell us about your course coming up, your Perma Pro course, please?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm launching in a few weeks. It's www.joseansoleaga.com/permapro workshop, and it's 5 days free content for what I did learn, what changed my professional life as an entrepreneur with permaculture landscaping. And then after that, if you want more, we have after those 4 days, we have a membership with coaching and group coaching and content in the vault for lifetime. Who has another price, and but already with those 4 days, you can learn to push your agenda and to start moving forward in the activity, professional activity, with permaculture and landscaping company.
That's great. And the link, we'll put the link in the description as well.
Thank you. That will be a pleasure.
Jason, you have a course as well. Come on. Can tell us about that?
I do. It's a permaculture professionals business development program. So we're going to get a cohort of 15 permaculture graduates that want to get started using permaculture professionally. Like Jose was saying, like it's not really likely that everyone's going to be doing some big 20 or 100 hectare, you know, homestead design with all the bells and whistles and the community and the business and everything. You might just specialize in water catchment systems or beekeeping or something that really is just your passion. But we're going to go through a 3 month process together of business development, and that's going to be including like from the very beginning, like figuring out what is your magic sauce, what is it that your community, your area around you, your region, the people that you know, what do they actually, what's important to them, and which one of those things are you really gonna just be like, you know what, I can see that's a need that people are saying that I'm going to fill that, and then walking you through the process of developing your network and laying out all your goals and uh, working it all out to the point where you know what functions your business needs to serve, and breaking it down into systems and elements and making a smart design. So there's pre-recorded uh, modules, and there's going to be kind of group mastermind calls. We help each other out, because I'll offer some Q&A sessions, but I really love it when all of the people are helping each other. I think that environment is just magical. And then we learn to solve solutions that even haven't encountered yet. So lots of elements. There's going to be some guest presenters and all that. So that's the program that's launching. We're going to start the program on February 24th. I've got an early bird offering until February 9th. And yeah, if anybody wants to jump in and learn more about that, you can actually go to regenerationnationcr.com/vine. And if you jump in there before February 9th, you'll have 22% off. And if you use that link to sign up, then I've got a free gift for you from one of my past events that I'm going to send you along with the program, invitation to the program. So that's regenerationnationcr.com/vine.
Thanks very much, Jason. That link goes out in the description. Since I was doing courses, we have a course as well. Come right with everybody. 3dcdpro.com, and it's teaching digital design. So if you're currently doing hand drawings and you want to sort of learn how to do digital design using Affinity Designer, and we also teach about how to build a website, technology stack, bit of AI, social media. Just so it's basically a permacultural digital design and technology course. Again, the links for the description for that. Guys, any finishing thoughts you have on entrepreneurship and permaculture?
Yeah, it's a long journey. You need to be surrounded by people that support you. So find those online or inside inside. Yeah, have people that support you, and if not, find them before anything. Find people that are 2-3 people that are really near you and understand where you're going, and you feel that they will be with you for the next 3 to 5 to 7 years, because it's going to be long and tough, and it's going to be full of happy moments, and yeah, you need to have that support also for sharing happiness. You need those people. So yeah, find people, and then journal. Have a journal. Write down all your wishes, objectives. Be accountable for yourself. So write it down and have your blog note, and every night write down, every morning write down. It's very, very important. I felt a big change when I start to write my objectives and proposals. So, and good luck. You are not alone. Remember, you are not alone. We are there already, pioneer. So feel free to contact us wherever you feel like. Thanks for watching and listening.
Yeah, I think my closing words, well, they would have been pretty much what Jose just said, is get support. Like, I love your opening comment that, being a solopreneur in permaculture is weak. It's not resilient. And I would say just being a solopreneur in general is so tough. And like getting accountability buddies, getting into a program with other professionals that are supporting each other, just even having a coach, is all, but that's what he was already saying. So I would say that the advice I'd have is make a plan if that's your jam. You know, we're all different. Some people need to just go for it, and I've definitely just gone for it like a lot in my life, and that's really cool for some small undertakings. But if you're going to do something that's going to require investment funds or a long path or equipment or you know like yeah, just if you have a feeling like I don't know how to start, then you know you're a permaculturist. You know the design methodology. Lay it all out. Put out everything, and then think like, okay, if I did hire a coach, what would they ask me? Like, what's your URL? What's your mission? What's your vision? Who's your ideal customer? How does your product make their life better? Focus on the benefits. Do research. Talk to people. Look at other websites. Gather all that information, and just like get your head on the industry you want to embark on. See who's local and doing stuff. See people as colleagues, not competition. Find out like, hey, I see you're kind of doing this, and I kind of want to do this, and I could see that if we didn't plan it, it could look like we were competing. But what if we just complement each other, and then we're feeding each other business? Like I'm just starting off new. I don't have to do all the things you're doing too. So like designing your business in the holistic context of who you are and who you're doing business with and the environment, like that process. I have a 6 week program. I take people on one at a time, and they fill out an assessment form. We just go through all of that and dive deep into the goals and stuff, and like do that for yourself and lay it all out, and then think like, okay, now out of everything I've gathered, what is it, if I start a business with the purpose of being financially regenerative and socially and environmentally positive, like what are all the things this business needs to accomplish? Just like if you looked at somebody's landscape and said, what are all the things that this landscape needs to accomplish? And just be like, all right, what systems would I need to create those? If you don't know, man, ask ChatGPT, ask a blog, you know. Don't create content with the thing, but at least you could just search, you can ask the question, what am I missing? What have I not thought of yet? And take the time to plan it, to really educate yourself, to get an idea as to what you're getting into before just getting discouraged from from not doing that effort. And yeah, you're a designer. Be a designer. Design your life. Design your business.
Great advice from the bosses. It's been great having you on. A wealth of experience. I'll leave the links as well in the description to your individual interviews if the audience want to find out more about you. They can do so through that links. And for the audience, thanks very much for listening. This has been the Permaculture Vine on Permaculture and Entrepreneurship. Thanks very much, Jason and Jose. It's been great.